By this time in the tutorial, you should have made an animation for your text trail map text coming in. For your text coming in, you should have made an animation of your map key fading in, and you should have put a stop action at frame 10. We're going to continue by extending our timeline so that we can have our hiker guy animate. So I'm going to go to frame 50, click and drag all the way down that stack, and right click and choose insert frame, and this will extend all the frames or all the timelines out to that particular length. Now at frame 10 we have a stop command, and I'd like to duplicate this particular keyframe to the end. So here's a really quick way of doing it. Just select that keyframe and then click and drag holding down the Alt key, and then let go at frame 50, and you'll see it duplicates whatever we had selected. Now, just to show you how powerful that really is, you can actually select multiple layers and click and drag using the Alt key, and it will duplicate all of those layers at once, which is really quite cool. I wouldn't do that right now just because it can mess up your file. Now, we're going to be animating our hiker guy here. Now, I know from doing this tutorial before that it's a really important thing for us to actually create duplicate keyframes here before I go forward. So I'm going to create a duplicate keyframe for the hiker just like I did for the actions, so that I have a copy of the hiker at frame 10. So click on the first keyframe for the hiker, then click and drag holding down the Alt key to frame 10, and we're going to create a new keyframe. You'll notice that that keyframe is in the exact same spot, but at frame 1 through 9, I don't want that hiker to be able to animate at all. Then at frame 10, or after frame 10, I can right click anywhere on that particular layer and choose Create Motion Tween. Now, we're going to be animating him from frame 10 to frame 50 along this path. So at frame 50, we'll jump over to that just by clicking at frame 50. I'm going to drag him right over here to the end, and you'll notice that we've created a path. If we scrub that animation by clicking on that red box and dragging, you'll see that he's moving from straight one place to the other. And what we want is we want him to move along the path. Well, since we already have a path, we can actually use that information and copy and paste it to use as a motion path. And this is one of the great new features of Flash. Let's click on the path layer, and you'll notice it selects the path. Then click on the path to make sure that it is selected. And you'll notice over here in Properties it says Drawing Object, and it has my stroke settings here. And now I'm going to right click on that path and choose Copy. Then go back to your hiker, click on him. Oh, we need to go back to somewhere where he's animated. So you want to be able to see the animation path. Then click on the animation path, and you'll see that instead of the hiker being selected, the animation path itself is selected. Then right click on that path and choose Paste, or you can do Control V. And you'll see that what I've just done is I have duplicated, or I've copied and pasted the path from being a visual path to being a motion path for this animation, which is a powerful new feature in Flash. Notice now, if we look at our animation, he starts off at frame 1 to 10, he doesn't move, and then at frame 10, he animates. So it's quite often that on one timeline, you might have static keyframes, and then you might have animated data as well. And that's quite common. Let's go ahead and save our work, and then we're going to get into some of the interactivity in order to create buttons for our animations.